Yo, what's up? It's another episode of the NLW podcast. You know how it goes. We're going to be talking about NLW, wrestling figure news and wrestling news in general, so stick around for some of that cool wrestling. I don't know, I'm really bad at doing intros. I will say though, I really enjoyed having Spam on last week, so a big thank you to him. And I do want to get more guests on in the future, but sometimes, when I'm not feeling up to doing the podcast, or if I've been out the night before, or whatever, I might be feeling a bit rough on the Sunday, so it's not something that I want to be committed to having a guest on every single week, but I definitely this week I would like to have someone on, because I did enjoy the kind of back and forth that I had with Spam. It's just nice to have a conversation about wrestling, really, and kind of having those jumping off points, and talking about wrestling figures, really, because it's cool. I do enjoy doing the podcast on my own, but I think it adds another dynamic with having someone else there. So because it went so well with Spam, I'd love to do podcasts with a couple other people. And let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in. Maybe even leave suggestions of guests that you might like to see on the NLW podcast. But before we really get into it, I'll tell you what I'm working on with NLW, as we always do. NLW 24/7, the second to last show, as I said last week. NLW 24/7 is coming to an end. XL Pro is a new show that's going to be taking its place, and if you're on the Patreon, you already know what that is, but more announcements will be made publicly in the next couple of months, probably. But yeah, I filmed an entire NLW 24/7 show, and that is going to be uploaded on Patreon very soon, because I've edited it all and I've just got to commentate. Next up as well, I'm going to be filming Metal. So I've already filmed the next episode of NLW after Revival, and now I'm planning on making the Metal episodes heading into WrestleMania, and, hopefully getting videos done and out of the way before the end of the year, so that I can move on to WrestleMania and filming that big show, which is looking really cool. It will be the end of an era, though. I feel like I want to kind of change the way I write, change the way I animate, kind of, give it a little bit of a revamp, really, after WrestleMania, and see kind of where I want to take the series from there, because I feel like this NLW versus Metal thing needs to come to an end at WrestleMania one way or another. But more announcements will be coming about the WrestleMania card moving forward. Do watch the entirety of Revival to find out what is going on there. And speaking of Revival, I'm really enjoying making these hype packages and stuff like that, because I've already uploaded the whole thing on Patreon, and now it's just a case of it coming out on YouTube. So this Saturday, the pay-per-view will kick off properly. We had the buy-in, which if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out now. It's got a match between War Machine and the Kings of Wrestling, as well as a Fatal 4-Way Women's Division match for the Knockouts Championship. Some creativity I wanted to put in there, I was thinking about having it animated, but the ring was causing me some issues, and I actually left those two matches till the end, because I wanted to get the big ones out of the way, so maybe I was a bit burnt out, and that's why they're pick-fed, but it did allow me to be a bit more creative with it, so go and check it out. It's well worth the watch, in my opinion, obviously. But this Saturday, we got Drew McIntyre versus Samoa Joe. Again, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then the Saturday after, it's going to be the exploding barbed wire match, which again, I love making and editing. And then finally, Lethal Lockdown, which is probably one of my favourite matches I've made in the last 5 years, certainly. And that'll be out October 8th. So very much looking forward to you guys seeing that. That's what I've been working on, really. Other stuff that I've been working on is actually filming this unboxing and kind of review look into this new generation arena, because it's finally here. It has finally arrived. We've got the arena here and set up now, and I want to film just like a brief overview of it. And this whole thing, this is wrestling figure news now we've moved on to, by the way. So yeah, I've got it through the post, and this is really, really sick. I mean, I'll go into it in more detail in the video. It'll either be up this week or next week, hopefully. But it's the box it comes in is sick, and once you open it up, it doesn't look like a ring can fit in it, but it's unlike any other toy wrestling ring that I've ever bought, in the way that it's put together, because you've got the boards and you've got the side bits. What do you call it? The skirt underneath the ring skirt, the scaffolding, I should say, that is clipped together, and it's so clean. The material that the ring skirts are made of is way better than they've made before. Kind of like a cloth material, and having just the wooden pads underneath the ring is also a really nice addition. And it's very photogenic. So, if you're into your figure photography, I'd say this Mattel Creations ring, really sick. And I'm glad that I bought it when I did, because I can't wait to film with it. I definitely want to use this ring for WrestleMania, especially when it comes with, the WrestleMania ring skirts themselves. I want to use those. And even like the other bits, like the crowd backdrop that it comes with, as well as the Ultimate Edition figures as well are really sick, and I just can't wait for the Macho Man figure to come and ship. Having that announce table pack as well is going to make it all that much better. So yeah, Doink the Clown going to be NLW champion very soon, I'm sure. And it also really sick. Obviously, I forgot to mention the light up stage, the LED thing. Haven't actually got batteries for it yet, so once I do, that's definitely going to be something I want to add to the set. Whether that's for NLW or XL Pro, whatever. But very, very cool set altogether. Very much would recommend, if you can find it anywhere for somewhat cheap, I would recommend getting it. I'm sure there's going to be people selling spares on eBay, but the one that I've got at the moment, I couldn't be happy with it, man. It's so sick. Other figure news. What have we also seen in the world of wrestling figures recently? Well, Ringside announced that the Elite Greatest Hits series were now shipping. So, again, a really sick lot here. The Rey Mysterio is one I particularly want to pick up, as well as The Rock. And Bam Bam, actually, are all must-gets for me in that series. We've also got pre-orders coming up for a bunch of other figures. And we've also seen the initial mock images of Elite 97. A really a mixed bag of a series, really. I think the best one from this has to be the Alexa Bliss. I think it looks really sick, even though it's a little bit out of date now with the character she's playing at the moment. I think it's a really cool looking fig. And if I have a look as well, looking at this Xavier Woods, this Chase Xavier Woods looks really sick too. So that's one I would like to pick up. And the Chainsaw Charlie, actually, it's a, I don't know if it's a hit or a miss, because you've got the same head scan for Terry Funk. If I can kind of see it up here, it looks like the same one they've used for a previous one, but the mask looks quite interesting. It's a weird figure to release, but I'm glad they have. This Ronda Rousey as well, from her, is it the Royal Rumble return? Looks pretty cool with the jacket. So there are a lot of these figures, and of course Cameron Grimes coming out as well. That figure's just been released. So, and I was talking about it with Spam last week, how I've kind of, I don't know, I've not really got the money to be spending on figures anymore, and I really want to make use of the figures I've got rather than buy all these new ones. But man, oh man, it's tempting. Like stuff like the Sheamus as well with the big long coat looks really sick. But there's just so many new figures that it's difficult to keep track. And these Elite top picks as well that have just come into stock. The Rollins variant with the, is it a variant? I think so. If I'm looking at my one here, yeah, it does look like a slight variation of the Elite 93, I want to say. So that's one that I might want to pick up, as well as the Roman Reigns with the red glove, and of course any Rey Mysterio addition to my collection would be good. And a better improved head scan as well I see on this one, now that I'm looking at it. So many figures, man. Excalibur as well, I really want to pick up for a weird reason, I don't know. It's pretty cool to have, the AEW announcers. A JR figure is one that I'd like to get to, but, I'll hold my roll until, I'm going to have to be putting out a couple more videos if I want to buy these figures. But we'll see what happens in the next couple of months. I don't know if the UK are actually picking up AEW figures now, though, which is a bit of a shame, because I was holding out hope that they might come out and be released soon, but it doesn't look like they're hitting Smiths anytime soon, certainly not the Entertainer. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It's a bit weird. It would be a shame if they didn't stock them, because they do. They were stocked pretty well in UK stores for a while, but man, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm sure something will figure out. What else happened though this week? It feels like quite a quiet week, because the past couple of weeks we've had news about CM Punk and the Elite, and a lot of fan reveals and figure reveals on the AEW All Out Fest. And now this week seems to have quietened down a little bit, which is understandable. But let's talk about wrestling news now. Again, not really much to talk about, like I was saying with Spam last week. There were some new developments in the Elite case, and now it seems to have kind of quietened down a little bit. Still, stuff is happening behind the scenes, which we're not privy to. We do know, though, that Roman Reigns is going to face Logan Paul at not Clash at the Castle, at Crown Jewel. And here's a controversial take from NLW. I like it, okay? I like the idea of having Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. It's a Saudi Arabia show, I don't care about it, really. I don't think anybody does, so it's fine with me, because he's going to lose. It's an attraction, really. I think that people need to stop. I haven't seen that many people complaining, to be fair. Like, not as many as I thought there would be. Like, I can understand if you wouldn't like it, but honestly, it's just so weird and bizarre that I don't mind. I don't care. I think that he's proven that he can cut a good promo and he can wrestle in the ring. So why not throw him in there for Roman to beat? Because that Roman wouldn't lose the title there anyway. So what's the point of kind of hyping it up as such? That's just my opinion on it. I it might be, I might be in the minority there saying that I want to see, because I'm not really a fan of Logan Paul, the YouTuber, or his like endeavors really. I keep up with it here and there, but like the boxing stuff, the Paul brothers, and not my cup of tea, to say the least. But in wrestling, it seems like a decent fit, So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be an entertaining match no matter what happens. And it just goes to beg the question as well, what other matches will we see at Crown Jewel? Obviously now Triple H is in charge, so the booking has been improving, the shows have been improving. We've got new women's tag team champions in Io Sky and Dakota Kai of Damage Control, which is cool. And we have to wait and see what happens over on SmackDown, actually, because the Brawling Brutes are the number one contenders. And it's great to see them being seemingly pushed as faces now, especially after the great match that Sheamus and Gunther put on at Clash at the Castle. I'm getting confused again. But it's great to see Butch back in his Pete Dunne gear, teaming with Ridge, and maybe, I don't know if they'll be the ones to beat the Usos, probably not, but it'll still be an interesting match nonetheless. The Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes could be a match that happens down the line. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Roman Reigns versus Sheamus at one of the pay-per-views. Could be interesting. And yeah, Raw and SmackDown have been great recently. Dynamite I haven't really been keeping up with as much. I did watch it last week, but not this week. So I can't really give too many of my opinions on it, but it will be very interesting to see Danielson versus Moxley at Arthur Ashe. That is a show that I will be checking out because it does look interesting. And also Claudio versus Jericho, like that seems like an interesting matchup. So it does feel like the wrestling landscape is in good hands at the moment. And I know I've seen a couple of people going to GCW in Liverpool. I hope people had fun there. If you went, let me know in the comments. But that's again, something to look forward to. And we've also got here in the UK, Royal Quest is happening. FTR versus Aussie Open looks like a sick matchup on paper. It's a shame I can't go this time because the last Royal Quest I went to was so fun. I just hope this is another fun show. Yeah, wrestling's in a good state right now, man. I think that people were quite negative about it, but it's holding steady. And I really enjoyed Raw. I will have to watch. I probably won't watch Dynamite this week unless there is something worth watching on there that you recommend me checking out. I heard Jericho and Danielson was quite a good matchup. And SmackDown as well, I need to watch still. Seeing how Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa are adding to the bloodline is quite an interesting development there. And yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in wrestling at the moment. I think still needs a couple more weeks and months to really get momentum behind it, but WWE doing good programming. Dynamite, whatever you want to say about the show itself, they're doing decent ratings. So, more power to them. I hope that the product improves and they can improve as well. Because as we all say, when wrestling is good, when everyone, what's the word? You can like what you like, and there's a lot of wrestling for everyone. That's just a sappy thing to say right there. But what will I say is my match of the week? Well, I've only actually seen one show this week, so I'll have to give it to Johnny Gargano and Chad Gable, just because I think that Gable being pushed as a wrestler again facing these guys is really good for him to get a showcase. And Johnny Gargano being back on TV, really, really cool stuff. So that's going to be my match of the week. But what's going to be my wrestler of the week? Well, I did catch the segment with MJF's promo on Dynamite. And he cut a really, really sick promo, and I cannot wait for this man to be AEW champion. So he's my wrestler of the week for the promo he cut. Honorable mentions to Danielson and Jericho, who, I did say I hadn't watched Dynamite, but I have caught a couple of the clips of the match, and it looks like they put on some good work, so might have to check that one out. But that's wrestler and match of the week, and that's pretty much it for wrestling news. What we usually come on to now is NLW updates and Patreon shouts out. So, first of all, we'll go through the Patreon shouts out, and then I'll go through my NLW updates. So, thank you to Brody, Jason Beggs, Joshua, Kidzap, Casey Hellschool, Devin Downlin, Ryan McCarthy, Cupid, Anthony Hill, Brandon Furman, Cringe God, Young Pack Forever, Flynn Lampkin, John, and True Kwan. Thank you all for being patrons. If you want to sign up for just $3, you can watch the entirety of Metal Revival right now and get access to some more bonus content. The link is in the description. And what is coming up for NLW? Well, as I said earlier in the podcast, this Saturday it's going to be Metal Revival Part 1. That's going to be stop motion, by the way, so that's McIntyre versus Joe. Then the week after, on the 1st of October, it's going to be the exploding barbed wire match between Edge and Jon Moxley. And then the week after, Lethal Lockdown on October 8th. One of my favourite matches I've made in a very long time. I can't wait for you guys to check out all of those matches. It should be fun. On this channel, I'm not sure if the Mattel Creations video of my review of the New Gen Arena will be up this week or next week. But it will be out soon, so look out for that in the coming weeks. I've got a figure collection video. If it's not coming this Thursday, it will come next Thursday, so check out the brand new NLW figure collection because it's changed quite a lot. But that is it for the NLW podcast. I would like to get a guest on next week, whoever it may be, and for future guests, comment down below who should be a guest on the NLW podcast. Let me know in those comments. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content. That's it from me, and I'll catch you guys later.